Stop 1. Johnson Square. You are standing in the first square of Savannah. This is where the Georgia colony began in 1733. As you look up at the towering oak trees, you can feel the age and history of this place. Johnson Square has always been the heart of Savannah commerce, just as founder James Oglethorpe intended. These are the city's tallest buildings, the headquarters of local and regional banks. If you had come here in Oglethorpe's time, you would have found the public mill and communal oven, where the women baked bread and shared the latest gossip. It was surrounded by the first 40 houses that made up the Georgia colony. Since then, it has been the only square without a single residence. Savannah is the first planned city in the U.S. and one of the only ones. Oglethorpe drew up the city's world-renowned urban plan while he was still in England. He carried it in his pocket across the Atlantic and scoured the coast south of Charleston for a good location. He picked this spot because of its strategic perch on a high bluff above the Savannah River. And satellites have since proven that downtown Savannah is the highest point in all of surrounding Chatham County. Oglethorpe's plan has endured to this day, and 22 of the original 24 squares that he mapped out are still intact. To hear more about Savannah's unique street plan, listen to the bonus feature on Track 20. Walk toward the rectangular monument in the center of the square. It honors the resting place of Revolutionary War hero Nathaniel Greene, George Washington's second in command. In the monument's base, there is an etching of him.
America must raise an empire of permanent duration, supported upon the grand pillars of truth, freedom, and religion, encouraged by the smiles of justice, and defended by her own patriotic sons. General Nathaniel Greene.
Greene defeated the British in the Carolinas and was well loved by Southerners because he sold his land in Rhode Island to pay for his soldiers' food in Georgia. After the war, Georgians rewarded him with land across the state. One of these was Mulberry Grove Plantation, just outside Savannah, where Greene settled down to grow cotton after the war. Being from Rhode Island, he was unaccustomed to the Georgia heat and died of heat stroke in the cotton fields just 1 year later. He was only 44. Almost a half-century later, a fellow Revolutionary soldier in arms, the Marquis de Lafayette, laid the cornerstone for his comrade's monument in front of you. If you were facing General Greene, look to your right, toward the eastern side of the square, at the white church with green doors and 6 tall columns. The Anglican Christ Church was Savannah's first church, and the first parishioners met in Oglethorpe's tent along Bay Street. John Wesley, who later founded Methodism, was one of the first pastors. He held the first Sunday school in the nation here and published the first ever English hymnal in America. He and his brother went on to write over 5,000 hymns, many of which are still used today. While Christ Church has been a place for many firsts, the building you see is actually the 4th to stand in this location. The earlier church structures were destroyed by fires and forces of nature. The bell in the tower survived the last fire and was incorporated into the current church that was completed in 1897. It weighs 1,900 pounds and was cast by Revere and Son of Boston. It has rung for the weddings of many prominent Savannians, including the founder of the Girl Scouts, Juliet Gordon Low. Look down Bull Street toward the gold dome of City Hall. This stately structure has been the center of Savannah's government since its completion in 1905. Pause your player and walk toward City Hall to stop 2, Bay Street.